I've been going to farmer market now for about 2 years. And a lot of people always ask me, how do I price my items? I think I have a few ideas on, I guess I can give, but I also, how do I price my own candles and car fresheners? I think if you are a vendor that make perishable items, the way you price your item will be very different than the way I price my item because my item are not perishable. If I go to a market on a Saturday or on a Monday and I don't sell anything, I can take my stuff back home, put them in my closet, and then next Saturday I can try to resell them again, and nothing gonna go to waste. But if you sell bread or cupcake, whatever, if you go on a market on a Saturday and you don't sell as much, or you sell half of the items, then what do you do with those cupcakes? Most likely, you're gonna have to throw them away, or give them away to the homeless, or I don't know, your neighbors, or trying to sell them at a steep discount to the local people in the community. But I think I think that is a perfect example on you have to be careful on how you price your items because you have to be able to price them to sell them. You don't want to take anything home if you sell perishable items. I think in the beginning, when you begin to sell your items, I think I will research what other people are selling them. And one of the biggest thing I would say is don't make too much. I would rather make half a dozen cupcakes, take them to a market and sell them halfway to the market, and then making 3 dozen cupcakes and sell half of them. Now I have the rest. I don't have no idea what I'm going to do with them. You know, in the beginning, when you start the business, you're going to make everything. You're going to make everything by yourself. So I think in the beginning, you shouldn't really judge on whether, on how much you're going to make to pay for yourself. Because I think in the beginning, your labor should be free because you're trying to get the business off the ground. But as time go by, I think you should begin to take into account how much, if I go to a market 9 to 5 on Saturday, how much it will cost me to make my items. If I have an employees, if I pay them like, I don't know, 12 or 15 bucks, how much that would be. Then how much do I have to sell to make sure that I cover my labor costs, the cost of the product, and so on. I think you should, as time go by, you should take into account the labor cost, but not in the beginning. And I think the pricing of the item is up to you. You should really, don't go crazy, but at the same time, just because you saw someone selling their cupcake for $3 or the wax candle of 8 ounces for $10, therefore you should sell your item the same price. I think you should sell your item based on the value, the worth you think it is. As long as it's reasonable, I don't see anything wrong with that. Because you are the one that is crafting the items. You're not mass producing it. You have your own technique of doing it. And you know the best of the time it takes you to make. And I think you should just make the price. And I think one of the problem a lot of new vendors make or run into is when they go to a market and they're not selling, they immediately start lowering the price. And they always think, well, if I lower my price, people are going to buy my items. Sometimes it's not a matter of lowering your price, or it have nothing to do with the pricing. Sometimes the market you might go to, the people are not into this stuff, and the next market you go to, you might find a hit. people might not have an issue paying your price. So I'm not sure the pricing is an issue. I think the market you go to is the issue. Um, it all depends on the market you go to, because here in Utah, we have craft show everywhere. Almost every town have their own farmer markets every Saturday. If not Saturday, they do it during the week in the evening. So I would say go to maybe 3 or 4 markets over the week, test to see which one work, which market is receptive to your pricing, and stick to that. I would not immediately start cutting my price just so I can get a sale, because then you gonna go down a path that will put you out of business, because the customer is always looking for a deal. So they will always ask you to cut the price. So they always want a discount. So I don't know. That's what I will say. And I think another thing is how, regarding what you sell, is how difficult does it take? How difficult is it to make? Is it that difficult? I think if you're a very crafty person that made woodwork or something that is very skillful, I think you should really price your items higher. Because who else? If someone gonna hire a craftsman to make a cabinet or piece of cabinet for them, that'll be pricey. I think you should really price your items based on the level of difficulty or the level of skill that's required to make an items. I do not think you should price. I think some vendors do the same. Some vendors they change the price based on the season, summer season, holiday season, whatever, or even different town they go to. I don't know. During the holiday season, what I usually do, especially Christmas season, we usually have a deal going on for them, so we can get more sale, because we get more sale, the volume is high. So even though we give the $2 off, is worth it, because the volume we're doing will be enough. It will be enough to cover what we're losing. So that's what we do during the holiday. But if you make caramel apple or any kind of perishable item treat, I think you should be extremely careful on how you price your items and how much you make when you bring to a market. Because if we bring too many and your price is too high, then you're gonna have a very difficult time selling all of them at the market. Because perishable item, when you bring them to a market, by definition, you have to sell them the same day, because there's no taking home. There's no taking it home, because or otherwise it would be wasteful. So unless you go to a market the next day, I know some people that go to market on Friday and the next day on Saturday they have a market, but not everybody have the time or the resources to do that. I think you can also do group survey. I don't know. When you go to a market, just do a survey. Ask your customer how much they would pay for particular items, and engage with them and see what they say, and adjust your price accordingly. But for you to just start decreasing your price because you're not getting enough sale at one particular market, I think you should just go to different market, test your pricing, see what they're saying, and then adjust it accordingly. But it all boils down, at the end of the day, it all boils down to, what do you think? Do you feel that your product is worth the price? Then if you feel that way, then just keep it that way. Don't decrease the price. If you feel like your product is worth the money, then there's no need for you to decrease it. Then you have to stick with it. If you believe in your product, then I don't know. You will have to just do more marketing to get people to your booth or to your website so you can get some sale done. But I think you should really believe in the product, and stick with your price and see what the customers say. At least don't just do it. Maybe go to a few market and then see what they say. I don't know. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.